Imagine you have a brilliant idea, a real game changer. But what if protecting that idea across a whole region was way more complicated than the invention itself? Well, that's exactly the story we're diving into today, a story about innovation in Southern Africa and the two clashing systems that are going to decide its future. So just put yourself in this situation. You're an inventor. You've made something amazing. Now the hard part starts. How in the world do you get that one invention protected across 18 different countries, each one with its own set of rules? This isn't just a thought experiment. It is the absolute headache facing innovators in this part of the world every single day. Now, to deal with this, two major systems have popped up, and they are like night and day. On one side, you have ARIPO, which is kind of like a federal system. Think of it like a club where there's a main office, but every member can still make their own rules that trump the main office. Then, on the other side, mostly for French-speaking nations, there's OAPI. That's a unitary system, much simpler. It's like one single patent office for everybody. One application, one set of rules, period. We're going to really focus in on ARIPO, the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization. Now, it was set up to make life easier for its members, who are mostly English-speaking countries. It's supposed to help them cooperate on all things intellectual property. But, and this is a huge but, you always have to read the fine print. And the fine print here says that national laws always get the final say. That little detail changes everything. So, what does this look like in the real world? Well, it starts off simple enough. Step 1, you file one application with ARIPO. Step 2, you pick which countries you want your patent to cover. Step 3, ARIPO checks it out. But then you hit Step 4, and this is where it can all go wrong. Each and every country you picked has 6 months to just look at your patent and say, yeah, no thanks, based on their own local laws. And that right there is the fundamental problem. A patent that's granted by ARIPO isn't some ironclad guarantee. It's more like a temporary pass that is completely at the mercy of each individual country's laws. So there is no single, unified protection you can count on. It's a patchwork at best. Okay, so what does this messy structure actually mean? For an innovator, it means your rights are fragmented. Your patent could be valid in one country and worthless right next door. For anyone looking to invest, that lack of predictability is a huge red flag. But maybe the biggest issue? The economic engine of the whole region, South Africa, isn't even a member. And to top it all off, if someone does steal your idea, the ARIPO framework doesn't really give you a way to fight back. You know, this isn't just a bunch of legal theory. This fragmentation has very real, very tangible consequences that affect economies and people's lives. To really see what I mean, let's zoom in and take a closer look at one of ARIPO's member states, Zambia. All right, let's put a number on this. Out of 133 economies that were measured in the 2024 Global Innovation Index, Zambia comes in at 116th. That number alone tells you there's a serious challenge here when it comes to creating and cashing in on new ideas. But here's where it gets really interesting. When you break it down, you see this massive gap. Zambia ranks 103rd for its inputs, things like investment, education, infrastructure. But for its outputs, the actual results, the new technologies, the creative products, it drops to a shocking 131st. It's kind of like having a fancy sports car engine in a car that has no wheels. All that power, and it's just not going anywhere. So what do we really mean by inputs and outputs? Well, think of it like baking a cake. Inputs are all your ingredients, the flour, the sugar, the good institutions, the infrastructure. You're putting all the right stuff in. Those ingredients are supposed to translate into outputs, the finished cake, right? The new knowledge, the tech, the creative stuff. But in Zambia's case, it seems like the machine that's supposed to turn those ingredients into a final product is broken. And this chart just lays it all out. You can see Zambia actually has some decent strengths on the input side. They're 91st for infrastructure, 92nd for institutions. Not bad. But then you look over at the weaknesses and wow, they're basically at the bottom of the list, 131st for both knowledge and technology outputs and creative outputs. The country is putting in the effort, but the system just isn't built to turn that effort into valuable, protectable ideas. And that brings us right back to the core of our problem, a shaky, unpredictable IP system. So if the system we have now isn't getting the job done, what's the alternative? Well, let's talk about SADC, the Southern African Development Community. This isn't just some other regional group. Its whole reason for being is economic integration. And the key thing here is that its members are grouped by geography and shared economic goals, not by old colonial ties. This could be a total game changer. So, why is SADC a better fit for this? First off, it's already a busy economic trading bloc, and they're already working on aligning their laws. Second, and this is huge, it includes South Africa, the regional powerhouse whose absence makes ARIPO so much less effective. Third, SADC already has things like a tribunal for handling disputes. And finally, its members are connected by real geography and culture, which gives them a much stronger foundation to build on. And we have to remember why this matters so much. A strong, predictable intellectual property system isn't just about protecting some abstract idea. It's about jobs, it's about economic growth. The former U.S. trade rep Ron Kirk said it perfectly. IP theft is a job killer and it's an export killer. If you can't guarantee that protection, you just won't get the investment you need to build up industries. It's that simple. It's the foundation of a modern economy. But hang on, what if this is about more than just patents for new gadgets or corporate profits? What if getting this right, creating a unified regional approach, could have a massive impact on two other incredibly important things: public health and protecting cultural heritage? Just look at these two incredible opportunities. In public health, a united SADC could use special waivers from the World Trade Organization to make or import cheaper generic drugs for things like HIV/AIDS and malaria for the whole region. That could save an unbelievable number of lives. And then there's cultural heritage. A regional system could finally protect the traditional knowledge of communities like the Khoisan, who share a common history, but were split apart by colonial borders. This is about protecting people and their heritage, not just products. So here's where we land. The current system is broken, it's fragmented, it's not working. But there's another model, one that's built on a logic of economics and geography, that offers a way forward. So the question isn't just whether this is the final piece of the innovation puzzle. The real question is, are the leaders of Southern Africa ready to finally put that piece in place and unlock the incredible potential of this region?